Hello everyone, how you doing today? I'm Steve G for Steve G Fishing, and welcome to another one of my videos. In today's video, I'm going to teach you the steps on how to do the jig and pig and what you're going to need to get the job done and the equipment that you're going to use to get the job done. So let's go ahead and get started with the video. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you get a heavy rod. This is a heavy flipping rod, and some of the rods, when you go to the bait stores, you can look right here on the sides of the rod and it'll say right there on the line capacity and the weight that's used. If you look right there, you can see that where it says the line weight, and this one here says 10 to 20 pound test. So I know that this is going to be a good heavy rod. It's got a little bit of bend to it, but not too much. You want to get a heavy rod, but you want to get a rod that you're going to feel comfortable with. Now this states 10 to 20, so this is, I like this rod. It's got a little bit of a bend to it, but I like the rod. I like the rod a lot. Find a rod that you're comfortable with. Remember, you're flipping, and you want to be able to force those fish out of the lily pads, and you want to be able to get it out of that high grass. It's going to be tough sometimes to get that out, but you want to have a good stiff rod. My rod, I have just a little bit of a flim to it, but that's because that's what I enjoy using. Everybody's opinion is different. Now, the other thing you want to use is you want to use a good line. I'm using a Power Pro, the Power Pro line, and this is going to be 40 pound test Power Pro line. Now, the reason I went with the 40 pound test, I could go 60 or I could go 50, but I feel comfortable with the 40. The Power Pro line is really strong. The reason why I chose Power Pro line over monofilament line is you're going to be ripping this stuff through the structures of logs, rocks, and bushes, and you want a line that's going to hold up really well, and that's why I chose to go with the Power Pro line. Now, let me get this out and put this down. Now the other thing is I'm going to show you the jig that I'm going to be using. The jig that I use is going to be a 3/8 ounce Strike King. 3/8 ounce Strike King. And what I like to do, let me open this out of the package. I like a jig that has a little bit of a rattle. If you listen, you can hear that rattle in there. You see it's got the rattle in there. Then, what I like to do is the piece you have that goes over the hook. Let me get this skirt out of the way. Doesn't want to be cooperative. I want to take this, the barb, see the barb plastic part that's covering close to the hook? I'm going to cut that at a 45-degree angle. So I'll take my scissors and I'll cut that. Just a little bit, like you see right there. I like to have it to where when the fish hits it, it's got a little bit of a bend to it. Now remember, these hooks are very, very sharp. So when you set that hook, it's going to drill into that fish like a spear. So it's really good on there. Now, the next thing I like to do is I like to do, instead of a single polymer knot, I like to do a double polymer knot. And what I'll do is I'll take the line And I'll stick it here through the top, like you see right there. And I'll make it kind of long. And I'll go around once and then twice. Then you take that line there, put your thumb in there and get you a nice little hole, and you're going to put that lure right through the hole. Then you'll pull a little bit of that line up there near the top. Like I said, I like to use a little bit of line, loose line, to where I can work with that, where I can pull that down. So I'll make sure I got it. I leave a little bit of slack on both sides so I can pull it to make it a little bit tighter. So that's how the knot comes out, like that. Then my access line, I take my scissors. Make sure you got good sharp scissors, because this Power Pro line is really strong, and if you have crummy scissors, it's going to be hard to cut that line. So I usually cut it to where I just got just a little bit of a tail end like that. All right, now the other thing that's really important, let me put that down, is you want to make sure that you put a trailer on. Now the trailer I'm going to show you is that I use the Zoom trailer, and I'll show you what I like about it. Zoom makes a lot of nice baits. I love the Zooms. Now, what you want to do is you want to get the Crawdad Zoom. I choose the green pumpkin seed. It works really good in different waters. The other thing you want to make sure is down there where the pinchers, it has a little bit of a loop there, so it flutters as it's going through. And I'll show you that. So what you do, this is how you put it on. You got the bumpy side right here. That's going to be the back. And the smooth side is going to be the belly. I like to put the back on the outside, just like it would be if it was a fish. The fish always has its back up and the belly to the ground. So I'll put that right on here like this. And I'll take it down probably about, I'll go about maybe a ½ inch. You can go down further if you like. And what I'll do is I'll put it a ½ inch, just like you see right here. So when you get done, this is how the bait looks. Now, when you are working this bait, let me get the camera so you can see this. If you look at this bait, see how it makes a good, see it flutters? See how that flutters? That's what you want. And when you throw it out, see how it flutters down? Now, what I like to do is, let's go out here to a little deeper water. Once it gets to the bottom, like you see there, I like to take the rod and jiggle it a little bit and get those rattles working. And then take it up, flutter it up, then let it go back down, then flutter it again. Make those rattles work. And take it up, let it hit the ground again, then make those rattles work. Just like that. See, and the other thing is to see if you're pulling it forward, you'll see the bait where the flutters. See that? The crawdad's fluttering. So it gives a little bit more life to it. Or you can just hop it like this. But I like to hit that rod a little bit, get those rattles going, and then bring it up and bring it back down into the structure. Go up, hit the rattles a little bit, and then go ahead and bring it back up again, bring it down. But the most important thing is you want that trailer to have some kind of action to it. So let me go back over here. Ugh. Now what I like to do is I'll take it, like you see here, I like to toss it out, and when you get into the water like this, you want to shake that rod a little bit. You want to get those rattles working. Then bring it up and let it go back down, shake those rattles a little bit. That's the most important thing. So let's go through the steps. One, you want to get a good heavy rod with a good backbone to it. Usually it'll say on the side of the rod 10 to 20 pound test on here. At least this one does. But like I said, I want my rod to have just a little bit of sway to it up there at the end. But this is considered a heavy rod. The other thing is you want to go with a good line. I choose 40 pound Power Pro. This is very strong. I've had it through a lot. But you want the Power Pro line because you're going to be taking this line through the weeds, the bushes, the rocks, all kinds of nasty cover, and you want a line that's going to hold up in that debris. The other thing is you want the heavy rod because when that fish hits this bait, you want to be able to slam that rod up and drive that hook in deep. And the purpose of the heavy line is you want to be able to force it out of that structure and bring it to the boat as quick as you can. If you let that fish run just a little bit, it's going to get into that structure, it's going to tangle you up, and you're going to have a real big mess. So remember, get you a heavy rod, good line, and that'll help you get through. And the most important thing is on these jigs, you want to get you some kind of a bait, whether it's a plastic worm or a crawdad, or whatever you want to use, but you want something that's going to have a little bit of action to it. So when you throw this into the water, it's going to have some action to it. And the most other important thing is you want to have that rattling noise in there. That rattle noise seems to turn them on. I don't know why, but it does. Now, they have different colors. What colors to use? I use a green pumpkin seed when I'm fishing in clear water. When I get into the root beer color, like you have on Lake George or the St. John's, I like to use the blue. It's just a matter of preference. You're going to have to kind of work through the colors. Another good color to use in that real dark water is the color white. White works really good. Well, try these steps. This is called the Jig and Pig. I'm Steve G for Steve G Fishing. God bless, and I hope to see you on my next video. Thank you for watching.